Welcome back to part 2 of our Meet the Maker mini-series. This is a special for St. Patrick's Week 2024, and I'm delighted that I will be able to introduce you to 3 more fantastic Irish makers in this episode. First up, we'll be talking to Maeve and Aran of Popey Projects, all about their Learn to Weave Irish Tweed kit, which is just a fantastic little device and something that I've had a lot of fun playing with in the last little while. We'll also be talking to Zoe from Eriu Yarns about the new colours that are going to be introduced to the Eriu range very shortly. And finally, we'll be talking to Jenny from Townhouse Yarns about some special new colours and teasing a little bit about some developments that are coming down the line for Townhouse Yarns. Don't forget, we have a fantastic giveaway. You can enter anytime up until midnight on Monday the 18th of March 2024. That's Irish time. So make sure to sign up through the link below and be in with a chance of winning 2 of those fantastic prizes that we have on offer. Without further ado, our next guests are Maeve and Aran from Popey Projects, and I hope you enjoy this chat with them. Popey Projects started life as a producer of laser cut maps, but in recent times they have expanded into creating projects for fibre crafters. So Maeve and Aran are going to tell us a little bit more about their Learn to Weave Irish Tweed kit, which we are delighted to be stocking this, isn't it? So Maeve and Aran, thank you for joining us today.
Hi Lisa.
Coming to us all the way from Sligo.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's great. So do you want to tell us how you went from maps and as a gift item to how to weave Irish tweed?
We'd been making the maps for a while in New Zealand, and then we moved back to Sligo in the middle of 2020, which was not a great time to move back, but it did give us plenty of time at home to kind of work out what we were trying to do. The loom actually stemmed from Maeve wanting a flat frame loom for the kids, for something to keep them occupied during lockdown.
Key at that time, for sure.
My nature is to never accept anything as the way it is. There's always a better way to do something. So I thought I could make a better frame loom.
Fantastic.
And after quite a few kind of trials, the rocket loom mechanism came about, and it was the easiest way, the fastest way to weave was, that was the idea.
I like that. Yeah, you're dedicated to efficiency and keeping your family happy. All 2 very noble aims.
Yeah.
I have quite a large stash of wool to try and out.
No, who stash knitters? No. So. But it's interesting that it's come from that. I know a lot of us did a little bit of, that introspection during COVID and kind of trying to figure out, okay, what's next and where are we going? But you brought this product to market. You've exhibited at Gifted, which is a massive consumer show before Christmas here in Ireland. And we recently chatted at Showcase. So you're bringing the Rocket Loom and your How to Weave Irish Tweed kits to retailers. So we're delighted to do it. I only recently got to play around and to make my own little coaster for my desk here for my coffee. And it was great. It was I have some footage of me assembling the loom. So lightweight, so portable, really easy to put together. The instructions were great, and within a very short space of time, I was up and running with the beautiful, authentic Irish tweed yarn, which of course we love and support here too. So tell us a little bit about what exactly is contained in the box that people receive.
You get your loom and you get a full 16-page instruction kit, and that also comes with a pattern, so you can make to get you started. You can make a set of coasters, 4 coasters, and then a larger one. So kind of like a breakfast set, we called it. So you can put your teapot on the larger one.
Perfect. Sunday morning breakfast. That's when the teapot comes out. Yeah.
And you also get the yarn. So the yarn comes pre-wound on the shuttles. And all you do is snap off the shuttles and start weaving pretty much straight away.
And that's the thing that I found, once I kind of had the loom set up with the pre-wound firm cardboard shuttles,
Yeah.
were just fantastic. Kind of, I'm impatient by nature. Okay, so when I got something, a new toy to play with, it was just fantastic that I could kind of get started straight away. The loom is super fast to warp up. And yeah, you can just be playing around with your stash or with the yarns that have come in the kit.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
learning. Oh, yeah, and so that you have the
There's the
default
shuttles
coloring.
there. Yeah. So yeah, you just snap them off, and yeah, off you go.
Brilliant, brilliant. And then as part of the set, there's also then one element of it is that you have your own wooden shuttle then that you can wind up with your stash as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it comes with it comes flat pack, so it's easy to ship.
Absolutely
And yeah,
brilliant.
that's the shuttle, and you also get a needle and your extra little comb, and two small needles then for sewing in the threads at the end.
That's a lovely touch. Yeah. And has the product evolved evolved much since your first design for the kids back in 2020?
The kit has evolved because I have a vintage knitting machine myself. So I have quite a lot of Donegal yarn in my little office that I like playing
What, a
with.
fiber crafter having like all of these different outlets? I've never heard of it.
How many vintage knitting machines do you have?
Oh. I sense a discussion that's happened many times in the background that we won't
Yeah,
get into.
yeah, Aaron likes to fix them for me.
Oh, but you're very handy to have
Um,
around.
yeah, and I suppose the tweed angle, like I'm not a weaver myself, but I have really enjoyed learning how to weave on the frame loom. And the tweed angle is just so, Donegal Yarns are just up the road from us. It's so local, and their yarn is all 100% wool. So we've a real sustainable angle to our business. So it just really fitted in really well with what we do. So it's kind of, and I've just found it fascinating how many different kind of patterns and looks you can get from just changing the colors, like even just under over weaving on, it's so plain weave, it's just under over, and like you can get so many. I'm surrounded here now by little samples I've
Show
made,
us some
but
examples. Go on, I'd love
yeah,
to
so
see.
like you can just literally, there's just so many different kind of patterns. So this is one I made.
Gorgeous.
So
Very
that's one you
nice.
can make from the kit. And then this is another one. It's called Log Cabin, and these are all
Beautiful.
literally under over. But they all look completely different, kind of completely different looks. This is a little wall hanging.
Oh, that's gorgeous, isn't it? They're
Um,
very popular.
yeah.
Yeah. A
Um,
little bit of home decor.
and there's like the traditional kind of look to the plaid. Yeah, so it's kind of handy for like leftover yarn from knitting projects. There's another one that's made with, that was one of the first ones I made actually. And it was
Absolutely
just
gorgeous.
leftover yarn I had. And then this is kind of a crazy one that I want to, it's one of my favorite ones actually because it's
Yeah.
completely multicolored.
I like it.
And it's kind of crazy. I'm going to frame that one somehow.
It just goes to show there's so many possibilities from what is, a
Yeah.
very lightweight and easy tool to bring around with you. We have some like social events and things where people are bringing like knitting and crochet and like just embroidery stitching. But this is the type of thing that you could bring along to something like that,
Oh, definitely.
without
Yeah.
lugging masses of equipment. And I could see
Yeah.
people using it to test out weaving patterns for larger projects on like more structured rigid heddle looms as well. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
multi-purpose.
Yeah.
And so this isn't kind of the end of this journey by any means. You've got some more plans for fiber crafters and products to entice them to try more new things. So what have you got coming up on the horizon next for Popey Projects?
There's a range of accessories for the loom itself as well, which are pretty much ready to go.
Fantastic.
So that the loom will become part of the system with pieces that you can clip in and out to do more sort of advanced weaving patterns.
Very exciting.
So those are pretty much ready to go. And then with this year we've got two or three new fibre-based products as well, along a similar vein. So it's sort of making it as easy as possible for people to give it a go and get creative with the yarn.
With all those leftovers, with that stash that's sitting in the background that you know all too well.
So yeah, it's more about introducing people to a simple way of doing things, so you can give it a go. And if you really get into it, then you might upgrade to a bigger loom that you could make bigger things on later.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's a great initiative to keep those traditional crafts in people's minds, but to make them accessible for them to try out first and foremost. And without the huge investment or sizable investment that certainly some of the looms can run to. So it's fantastic. I really enjoyed using it. I'm going to play around, and certainly you've inspired me to make a few wall hangings for around the place. I can see many samples popping up around the This Isn't It shelves in the next little while.
Well, we're really excited to see how people, what other people create with our loom as well. What little projects they come up with. So we had some testers test out the loom before Christmas. And yeah, it was just really interesting seeing how they use the different colours and the combinations even they came up with themselves. One of them was using, her daughter made a little teddy blanket with her little square. She's been using it in her doll's house. So she sent me a photo of all the teddies tucked in under the little tweed blanket.
But it's so inspiring, and it's so heartening, isn't it? When you've worked on a project for this long, to see that out in the world and to see, what it's bringing to people and how they're, creating and making. And that started with you guys. It is. Do you want to tell us, have you any St. Patrick's Day traditions or stories before you go that you have as a family?
Our youngest is 5, so he really gets a lot out of the parade still. So we'll definitely be going in to see the parade.
Fantastic.
I'm a bit of a baker, so there'll be a couple of loaves of green bread appearing on the table.
I'm not sure that would appeal.
The kids love it.
Some traditional green bread. Yes, that's what happens when I leave mine in the back of the cupboard. Well, that is fantastic. Thank you so much to you both for taking the time out to join us. And we are sharing one of your beautiful weave your own Irish tweed sets as a prize for one of the lucky viewers. So make sure that you enter the prize by popping your details into the form that's linked below. Maeve and Aran, thank you again for joining us, and I hope that we will chat again someday soon. I am delighted and thrilled to be joined by Zoe from Eriu Yarns. Eriu is a 100% what they call farm to yarn, authentic Irish product. This wool is from the back of Irish sheep, which is a rare enough thing, believe it or not. But I'm going to let Zoe tell you a little bit more about the brand, its origins, and the exciting development of some brand new colours coming our way very shortly. But it's been a mere, I think only 9 months, if not less, since we first started stocking Eriu at This Isn't It, Zoe. But it's a firm favourite. So I'm thrilled to have you talking to us about where Eriu is going next.
Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. And it's so great to talk to you always, like in any type of conversation, because I learn so much. And we learned so much from the knitters. And, the whole seed of Eriu started because of my grandmother, a knitter, amazing knitter from Sligo, knit me this baby blanket. And I wanted to emulate that as a business. Went with traceable wool from the farmer and went out totally not knowing anything about farming or wool or sheep and to find the whole tragic story of Irish wool. And that was the whole journey. So it's the inspiration from the knitter to kind of recreate that. As you know, we went on that journey, set up these farm to yarn networks, met my partner Lionel, who's a farmer, and together we've been curating Irish wool. So we have created this luxury blend of blue face Leicester and Romney lambswool. As you know, you've been working with it, and we just love the feedback because we're both not knitters, and we really treasure the knitters' feedback the most, and seeing what they create with our yarns. Like, we do a couple of our own products, but it's just magic to me. So we really want to going forward in the business now, we really want to cater to the knitters a lot more, and just it's just been amazing to see them work with our yarn. I think they like, as you know yourself, it gives a great stitch definition. The quality of the sheep are really nice. There's a lovely drape and luster. So it's kind of, I think it's a bit different as a yarn. It's certainly a unique thing.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I think at the time when you came in or dropped in a little sample to the shop, the moment I got my hands on it, I wasn't there that day. I think I might have thrown my arms around you had I been. But it was that thing of, yes, there's a spectrum in terms of wool. There really is. And there's super soft and drapey yarns that are perfect for certain types of projects. And then there are ones with a little bit more toothiness, a little bit more grip to them, but that are still, so like the when you wash and block your yarns and finish it, just the qualities and how it softens and the whole process, like it just shows. I think the organic nature of it, isn't it? Like that it changes
Totally.
with time, with the input of crafters' hands and moisture, and that
Absolutely. It's a
it
living
transforms.
fiber. I think it's like
Yeah,
you say, it's the organic nature. I think it continues to have a life, and for
absolutely.
me, it's the knitters working with their hands, like you say. I really believe, like, knitting is an act of love, right?
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
when you wear something that's been knitted for you, it feels totally different. It's the
Mhm.
intent that's put in it. It's the love that's put in it. Not we don't have things like that mostly. So when you couple that with a fiber that's been curated like that, we hand source every
Mm,
fleece. Like, Lionel goes to every farm, and all our farmers we know really well. We everything then is so meticulously cared for. It's spun in Donegal yarns. It's then, our pieces are handmade, or they go into the knitters, which are handmaking. So it's just, I think it's the perfect companion in a way, and then it continues to live a life, like you say, and it's just that nice balance. Like you say, it's got the kind of structural piece, that robustness, but it's also got the softness, because you do want to
yeah.
have soft,
You
you
do,
know.
you do. But I love the story. I love that you've sought out, the farmers who know their stuff, and you guys who know your stuff, the knitters who know what they're talking about, Donegal, all the expertise that they have up in Studio Donegal in the mills there, and this like the centuries of craftsmanship that kind of culminate in this beautiful, beautiful product.
Yeah.
And the feedback has been phenomenal for it.
Yeah.
People are absolutely loving it. But the one thing we keep getting asked for is more colors, which I believe are on their way. So,
Yeah.
Zoe, tell us about, I suppose, a little bit about the original palette and the reason behind that, and where you're going with the color range for Eriu.
Brilliant. Okay, so yes, we're so excited to get the colors into the knitter's hands.
Yeah.
So yeah, our palette, which is our original palette is primarily these four colors. So
Yes.
it's, as you can see, it's so soft. It was just, there were colors I was working with for ages. I wanted something very calm and soothing and gentle,
Mm.
but that would cater to kind of a masculine feminine balance. Not that anything is gender specific. It's not about gender. It's just like the
Yeah.
energy of those colors. So our palette just became, it's so soft, and it's like, for me, it's like a really calm sunset, when you just, those colors blend in the sky, and the kind of the pinks of the sun, and then the yellow, and then that. Our undyed, we call it sheep's back, is very creamy, buttery anyway, so it's
Yes.
got a lot of richness to it. So that is our current palette, and it's I love it. I'm almost scared to come away from it, because people love it. The colors work really well together, but it's so feminine, so soft, so lovely, and I personally love all colors. So I was really like struggling to, like, what is going to be the right counterpart for this palette, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
going to marry it, because I want the colors to work together as well. So really, we went to Donegal just at Christmas, and I'd been thinking so hard about all the colors, like, and what palette to do, like, really kind of struggling. And I came up with some colors, and I went up to Chris Weiniger, Chris from
I
who
do.
runs it all. And they have an amazing colorist there, Nora, who develops all the color. And I brought up the colors, and we had gone up to see our wool in production, and we have some videos of that on Instagram, and just to hang out with them. They're amazing. It's so fun to go up there. And we I showed the colors to Chris, and Chris was like, "Oh, are you sure about these colors, Zoe?" And I was like, no, I'm not really, because I wasn't convinced myself, and he totally called me out on it because he's so experienced, and they do amazing work with palettes all the time, really
Yes, yeah.
interesting palettes. And part of my problem was like I love too many colors. So to narrow it down into one palette is very hard, and then you want to make it work. So I kind of just scrapped those colors. He was like, just showed me all the way they work with palettes into their color room. It's just so inspiring. And I left that day, I was like, scrap those colors, what I was thinking about. I have no idea. And we
You
went back.
staged an intervention, Zoe.
It was like, when Chris, I just believed him, he knows
Yeah.
his stuff. So we went back to the hotel. Anyway, it was a really, as I said, it was a very busy time of year. We just finished gifted. The kids were with us, the toddler and my 9-year-old, as you know, as a mom, trying to like make bedtime work in a hotel when you're just like busy day, everything out of routine. I was like going mad. And Lionel was like, "You need a bath. Just go and have a bath in the hotel room." And I was like, I don't have time for a bath. I'm busy. I have to put the kids to bed, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I think he was looking at me going, "She's going to blow." The kids were like, "She's going to
Yeah,
blow."
another intervention was required.
Another intervention was required this day. This was December, I remember. So I literally was like, I am going to have a bath. I got in the bath, and you know yourself, you just don't stop sometimes. The minute I got in the bath, the minute I hit the water, this image of a kingfisher just came to me. And a kingfisher bird is like, it's such a magical animal. I have always loved them since childhood. And it was just like the second I allowed myself to relax, I like after all the inspiration, I think, from that day and talking to Chris and seeing the colors and how Nora works, then it was just like this kingfisher came in. And immediately when I was afterwards looking at pictures of kingfishers, so I was like, this is the palette.
Lovely.
You never have to look too far than nature,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For inspiration. Because I was struggling to put these colors together, and that weren't working, even though they're beautiful colors. And then I look at this piece of nature, which actually I would never pick those colors if I, into a palette. And I just saw how this beautiful bird works.
Yeah.
And
Nature had done the work for you, Zoe. You just needed that bath.
Totally. And then I got excited because I love looking into the symbolism of everything and the meaning of everything. And, everything, especially when you're picking select things, you want it to mean. So one of the stories of the kingfisher, and there are many, but it's obviously also, it's a global bird, but it's an Irish bird. There's a lot of Celtic mythology around it as well. But one of the stories is that the kingfisher was one of the first animals out of Noah's Ark and flew out into the sunset, which I was like, Eriu's colors are from the sunset, and flew into the sunset. And that's how the kingfisher's breast became like blazing red from the sun, and it had the sky on its back. That's the story.
Very cool.
This beautiful blue and this blazing red, which are so unusual. So, and the kingfisher represents peace, love, and prosperity, which are so lovely. And I felt like our other palette was so feminine. This is like the perfect kind of more masculine counterpart that will marry the kind of feminine. So, as
Beautiful.
I said, not
Stop
gender.
teasing us now, Zoe. Show us the colors.
Okay, I'll show you the colors.
Yeah.
So exactly, I'll stop. But I just have to say my favorite thing about the kingfisher, right? Because this is amazing. You know the way birds in the bird kingdom, often it's the male that's so beautiful, with the dramatic. But in the kingfishers, the male and the female are the exact same. They both have these amazing.
Yeah, lovely. I like it.
And the only way to tell them apart is that the female has a lipstick, they call it, on her beak. So her beak, I just think they just get more amazing.
So cool.
All my kingfisher research. So this is, I'll show you this properly, but this is basically the palette of the kingfisher.
Gorgeous.
I'll show you the
I love
it. Isn't it gorgeous all together? So that's how Nora up in Donegal, she's amazing. I gave her the mood board, which you can show, and she then develops like options. And I mean, it's such a process that goes into these, but this is like this teal color that's in the Kingfisher. So there are so many lovely ones. I actually had it hard to pick, but this
I
is
can
the
see
one we're
that.
going for. I know it's
The
probably
richest, the darkest one,
the
yeah.
richest,
Yeah.
darkest one
Yeah.
because everything is just so tempting. And so then there's it is hard to choose sometimes, but each one she will develop as a choice is very different. I thought they were just gradients of color, but they're not, they're different. So again, this blue, it's like a petrol blue,
Lovely.
hard to describe in words, but that's also rich, deep color.
Yeah.
That we're going for the dark one. Then there's this gorgeous, and you'll see it in the Kingfisher's kind of wingspan. There's a very soft, it's like a fawn.
Look
We're actually going to call
gorgeous,
this
yeah.
Wicklow fawn. So that's a gorgeous color, isn't
Lovely.
it? Like
Yeah, and something that would mix in beautifully with the original palette as well as being a counterpoint in this
I
new
mean, this
when you've
is
got the really rich
like,
darks.
look at
Yeah.
those at the old, because I kept just getting obsessed holding them all together because they do all work. And then this blazing bright color, I had to go for the brightest because that, and it really is true to the Kingfisher. So this is the
Fabulous.
color, which is very
Yeah.
fiery. I'm actually going to call that one Bridget because it's Bridget's year and she's so fiery. So that is how they're all. I'll just hold them up again in their individual. That is the palette, and then the nice thing about them, I'll just hold them up so you can see.
Oh,
So,
yeah. It works so well, doesn't it?
doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it really does.
Like
I love
I'm
it.
so excited to see what knitters are
Yeah.
going to do
So
with
many
them because
things.
yeah,
Yeah, and I can
it'll
see,
work
I can
so well.
absolutely see color work coming into the mix, definitely. There's a beautiful sweater that we have our eye on that we definitely want to make, featuring that lovely dark blue there.
Oh,
And yeah, there's some plans afoot, Zoe. Plans
oh, that's
afoot.
amazing. And just one other thing then, Lisa.
Yeah.
The Chris was so, they're famous for their Donegal tweed,
Yeah.
with the neps. So
Mm.
Chris was really keen for us to do an Eriu tweed, which
Mm.
I was debating about for ages, but they did up these samples and then like how could you resist? Like
Oh,
look at this.
fantastic.
So
So,
this is, and that was also one of the colors I couldn't choose from. It's that more
yeah.
brighter aqua
Yeah.
color that is in the Kingfisher. So that is going to be like a limited edition. There will be our forming
Oh,
colors, but this is going to run as like a limited edition, which will have all the colors running through it.
oh, I
Now,
like it.
so
Yeah.
it would be a special Kingfisher
Oh, I
tweet
love it.
to go with it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Okay, all of that on the shelves as soon as possible. That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
So it's broadly we're talking about towards the
End
end
of
of March,
March.
early April, maybe by the time
Yeah.
it's with us, possibly.
I think it's end of March. I think
Okay.
like they're brilliant in Donegal when they say they have something underway. They're really
Yeah,
amazingly efficient. And I was
great.
just thinking before, they're literally going to be birthed out of Donegal the same time as the lambs are going to be birthed on the farm because they're due
Oh,
end of March
oh,
as well.
oh, fantastic, fantastic. It's a really good omen, isn't it? Sort of new
Yeah,
beginnings of spring and yeah, that
totally.
the latest members of the extended Eriu family coming together.
Yeah,
So yes,
exactly.
we do absolutely have to come down and have a little visit at the farm around that time. And yeah, I will bring my two little boys, I think, because I think
Yeah.
they'd adore it. They'd adore meeting all
Oh,
the little lambs.
definitely.
Yeah.
Please do. There's always like a pet lamb, which, you have to feed with a bottle,
Yes.
which I love. That's a lot more work for farmers, but generally
100%. Yeah, yeah.
it's
But
so
when you can
cute.
swing in on a volunteer basis, it's all good.
Ideal. Yeah, and you get to feed the lambs.
That's
So yeah,
perfect.
inevitably there'll be a few of those. So yeah, please come down and see them.
Absolutely, we will do. We will do. To celebrate the release of these beautiful new colors from Zoe and Lionel and at Eriu, we have a fantastic prize to be won. One lucky viewer is going to receive a skein of each of these new shades, and all you have to do is enter the competition at the link below. And we'll be in touch with the winner very soon. So, Zoe, as ever, it's been a total pleasure speaking to you. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your, especially at such a busy time, spring with everything coming your way, to talk to us and to let our viewers know about the exciting things on the horizon. We will definitely check in again very soon with you. Thanks again for being a guest on the This Is Knit podcast.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for having me.
In this Meet the Maker mini-series of the This Is Knit podcast, we have been all the way around the island of Ireland. We've been through the Dublin Mountains, okay, via Spain. We have gone down to Wicklow and we've gone up as far as Donegal and Sligo. And we've had so many wonderful guests so far, but we're bringing it all back home today with Jenny, my little sister, not only my little sister, but the powerhouse creative director behind our own Townhouse Yarns. And right now she's up in County Meath in witnessing the semi-blizzards happening outside her door. And we are going to take you back to where it all started with Townhouse Yarns, let you know a little bit about the brand if you don't already, and also, more importantly, very importantly, talk about what's coming next. Jenny, thank you for joining me.
Hi, sister.
Hello, how's it going?
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here on the 1st of March with a very Irish spring happening outside both of our doors.
I was wearing my green jumper to be Irishy.
We did this, actually we had this as well with Phoebe from Forager. She was wearing resplendent in green with lovely white walls behind her, and I had the kind of gold. So we're doing good. We're representing for sure.
It was this or my Ireland jersey. So I went for this.
For that, would have gone for that. So you began life as my little sister, and then what happened next? Yes.
I had to go through many years of torture. No. Basically, I had been doing hairdressing when you and Jackie, our mum, started This Is Knit. I remember mum saying to me, oh, why don't you come do this with us? And I think I was 20, 21 at the time, and I was like, no. I'm doing my hairdressing. I'm hairdressing is my path. This is what I want to do. And did that for a few years, but sometimes life gets in the way and I had to basically give it up. I could only work part-time. And so, hairdressing is not a part-time job. They want you working there full days, kind of Tuesday to Saturday probably. And it just wasn't where I was in life. Couldn't do that. So after a couple of years, and then I had my daughter, and you contacted me one day and you said, hi, little sister, you couldn't do me a big favor and just come in and give us a hand in the shop. And I was like, okay, I don't know anything really. I know very basic knitting knowledge, but
you'd done a little garter stitch cushion cover. I remember that one.
I did. But you cast it on and you sewed it up for me and everything. So literally I knit a rectangle and you did the rest.
We all start somewhere.
Yes. And it was sparkly. God, remember it was eyelashy as well, wasn't it? Yeah. That was terrible. So I came in and helped out and never left. I started working part-time and became enthralled in the knitting community.
Absolutely. We always say it's quite a contagious kind of environment, isn't it? Where you pick up on people's enthusiasm, you pick up on, just all of the creative vibes, and you're like, I want a piece of that. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Like I've always, I think, been a creative person. Like I loved art in school and, the hairdressing side of things. I loved, just giving people a different look. I loved when they wanted to completely change what they were doing, And so I love the creative color aspect of the hairdressing world. And then, so I think there's a lot of crossover because you're mix and matching colors. You've got the fibers, all the rest. And I got just as kind of obsessed with the color side of yarn than I had with the hairdressing side too.
Yeah. There's a laser focus element to you, Jenny. It's just like you've got to be engaged. You got to, you find that niche and then you're all in. Yeah. So, well, I am personally very delighted that that happened for you with Townhouse Yarns, because you came to me one day, I think, was it my first or second maternity leave, such as these things are in self-employed world. And you're like, I want to dye yarn.
I think it
I want
was
to dye
about
yarn.
2 years of working in the shop. So maybe it was in between.
Wow, we had you for all that time.
I think so.
Yeah, we miss you in the shop, I have to say. You know,
It's been a
yeah,
few years now since I've worked there.
it has, it has. But we're all playing to our talents, and absolutely your talents are there, and they're with Townhouse Yarns. Your third baby, really, we would
My
call it.
third. Yeah.
And and so you've been, what started as one little kind of section of shelf in the shop has
Yeah.
morphed into almost a wall full of Townhouse Yarns now. But I do want
There
to
was
kind
a
of,
wall before you redid the before you redid the shop.
before the
That wall was
renovations.
mine. But no,
Yeah,
there's a mix now. I have to share.
yes, yeah. You've grown as a person. So, um, but you I think I do want to talk about, we've mentioned this on the podcast before, but for people who are new or haven't been around as long as me and you have, to give the context to, okay, first of all, why is the brand called Townhouse Yarns?
Mhm.
Show us your beautiful cushion there beside you.
My
Show us it.
beautiful cushion.
Your beautiful cushion. So this
Oh.
is the Paris Court Townhouse, the beautiful building that this is knit is located in. And so Denny, this is when the brand first started. What are we going to call it? Well, there you go, Townhouse Yarns. Why not? And
We
that's on all of the labels. We did.
we
Um,
brainstormed a bit, but yeah, it was decided, I think, that
yeah.
it not only helped you find your way to this niche if you were a tourist, but it's such a gorgeous Georgian building, and it has a lot of history in the the
Oh, the
fleece kind of
textiles. Yeah,
textile
yeah.
side of things from way back. So I just felt fitting
I
that,
think so.
you know, it was an idea born in that building, and to use the facade as the logo.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then we broadened it out because the building is located in what's sometimes known as the creative quarter of Dublin.
Mhm.
So as we brought in new lines, we were naming them. I mean, the very first yarn, which we no longer do anymore, was called Grafton Street, right?
Mhm.
Which hopefully most people will be familiar with that are watching. And then we expanded out to those nearby streets around Dublin, also to landmarks like Trinity 2 Ply, and it's just a lovely way to kind of bring a bit of Dublin,
Yeah.
just obviously to local knitters and to knitters around the world. And that expands into some of the colors as well. There's some beautiful local colors like Dublin, and here's a little bit of
And
what's next. And some of the people and the personalities at this, isn't it too? So,
yeah,
who had the honor of being the first?
that would have been Jackie.
Would have been Jack.
She had a very special birthday,
Mhm.
and I think my recollection, it was over COVID sometime, wasn't
Oh, it was, yeah,
it?
yeah,
It was.
absolutely was,
And
yeah,
so it was we hadn't even been together like as a group for a while, but we actually
yeah.
managed a dinner, didn't we? In
One
near
of
where?
the little mini openings that were happening,
Yes.
yeah. Hmm.
And what do you do for your man? You lean on your talents.
You
And
do.
so I created a colorway, you know, based on all of the, because it is a variegated colorway, but all of
Mm.
her kind of favorite shades that she would
Yeah,
use. And so we called it Jackie. And for a long time, she was the one and only with a shade
yes.
named after her.
Hmm.
But
Very recently
coming very,
changed.
yeah, very recently, and coming to the shelves of This Is Knit very soon, is
Mhm.
a bundle of 5 colorways that are named after all of the people that you might be familiar with from either talking to them through the email or seeing them in the shop.
Mhm.
Lisa, you are one of them, of course. But then we have Joy, Maureen, Denny, and Ashley as well.
Yeah, yeah. So some of their, team that have been with us for an awful long time now, and kind of they're very much through thick and thin. You know, there's been quite a few challenges with the time that shall not be named. We've already named it, but we won't dwell on it too much. And yeah, I think it's just they were so just so floored, I think, by and honored that you had taken the time to do that. I think we
did
should
surprise
explain.
them.
Yeah,
I didn't tell them it. I just put everything in the box and they didn't
yeah.
know it was coming. So I was texting you going, I wonder have they opened the box yet? I was just like, I don't think so. So it was the next day then, and I got a message then from Maureen first and then Joy. I don't know if Denny has seen hers yet.
She might not. No, maybe
might
today.
not. Maybe. And yeah, so it was a nice to do a little surprise they weren't expecting.
I think we should explain the names then as well, because they're not directly. Jackie's got Jackie. She's the one and only
Jackie's
Jackie,
got Jackie.
right?
Yeah.
But yes, you've got. Go ahead.
So first of all, so for Joy we have Joyous, and it is the kind of. Am I giving colours away yet?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So Joy loves kind of blues and teals. She always knits with them. So she has the teal colour. Yeah. Maureen is Mo, that is the colourway. And that is the dark purple. Then there is Improv for Denny, because I don't know, do people know that outside of working in This Is Knit, she
woman of many talents.
A woman of many talents. And then we have for Aisling, who you talked to on email, we have Flash, which is a gold, and then Leela, which is you have lilac. Oh, sorry, Denny's is like a peach.
Oh yeah. And we'll put the pieces together now. Like hopefully, the future Lisa will have edited this beautifully to show you them. But
here,
the eagle-eyed will notice that they are brand colors. Actually, there's my oh wow bag in the brand colors of This Is Knit as well. So it's just lovely that it's kind of brought everything together. All of the people who like make up, who are the key threads as well, you know, day to day, keeping everything running. I'm saying this about myself, but it's not really. It's more about the others. You just put me in there because I complained, I think.
I suppose you need one as well. Go on. Twisted my arm.
Yeah, but no, it's a fabulous set and it really goes together, and I have so many plans of things that I want to do with those colors.
So initially we have them on single skeins of Clarendon, and which is our 4-ply with merino cashmere nylon 4-ply, but we also have created mini skein sets, which are very, very cute and fun. I love mini skeins.
Yeah, all the minis all the time. Yes. So we want to, I guess, before we talk about what's coming next, this is your opportunity. I'm wary of giving it to you, but do you want to do any St. Patrick's Day memories from your childhood?
So many. So many.
Yes, go on.
I have vivid memories. And I don't know how old I would have been. Maybe you might be able to work it out. But both you and our older sister both got to join the majorettes. And
this came up actually with one of the others.
Therefore, got to be in Dublin Patrick's Day parade. And me being the little sister standing on the sidelines watching this, you twirling your batons,
probably in the rain,
and shaking your pom-poms. I was like, why couldn't that's not fair? So
you had the misfortune of being born 4.5 years after I was born, and I think I was squeezed into that parade because again, my older sister's doing it. Why can't I? But I remember it. I don't remember you being quite as put out. You seem to have held on to that one for a little while.
I remember saying to Mum, why can't I be in the majorettes? And she was like, you're too young when you're older. And then when I was older, you guys had stopped doing it. And
oh, the joys of sibling rivalry. It's all great.
But it was like, because you two were so close in age.
Yeah.
And I was so much younger that it was like, by the time that I was old enough, then
you just wanted to do whatever we were doing then. You know?
Yeah, I wanted to be involved. So yeah,
I mean,
that's my earliest St.
yeah.
Patrick's Day memory.
Yeah, clearly one that you cherish.
Oh yes, 100%.
Oh, very
And
good, very good. All right. Well, looking forward now before I get into any more trouble. What about 2024 for Townhouse Yarns? Is there anything coming back? Anything new? She says as if she doesn't know.
coming back.
Well, we're talking about attending a few more shows, aren't we?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. That's again the word we will not mention. Did dip our toes back into the water with Woolen Folk. So that was our first show pre-COVID. But definitely excited to attend more shows. It was definitely something that was missed, that community aspect of, these things. Even though we'd only do maybe 2 a year, it really kind of reinvigorated things in your mind and gave you, inspiration, and just I really think that it just kind of lights a little fire under you, like sometimes.
It definitely does.
Shows are.
I was going to say, especially for you, like where, what we've done in the last couple of years, like since COVID, is we've just hidden you away in a studio and you just keep dyeing yarn.
Yeah.
And, you can never kind of keep up with the demand. So
I know, and I'm
no.
all by myself. So literally I am there, just me. And that's one thing I miss about working in the shop though, as well.
Yeah.
Have to say is, you're bouncing ideas off each other. You're seeing customers' reactions to colorways. You're seeing them put together.
Yeah.
Shades that maybe you wouldn't have thought of, or they come in wearing their finished object and stuff like that. So I do miss that side of things. So yes, being locked away by myself these past few years has definitely been
I promise she actually has like space.
Oh no, I
There's
do.
no padlocks involved.
There's no padlocks, there's no bars. Like my space is great, and it has been amazing to have it, going from obviously starting out in the kitchen, then having a very big she shed out the back garden to do it. And then obviously we found this space close to home that was brilliant. So, everything's down there apart from my stash. But yeah, there's changes coming. There are changes coming, hopefully by the end of this year. Just
if not before. So we've got some big plans together, and I can't wait to kind of share them and tell people more. It's time to shine, girl.
Oh,
yes.
Time to share the load.
That too. So you will definitely be seeing more of Jenny. My plan is 100% to drag her out of her studio space.
Hiding.
drag her out of hiding. We're sister brands. Townhouse is part of the This Is Now family, and we want to bring it more places. Take it to the next level this year. So that's the plan.
So we do have a lot planned for 2024. There is changes coming, and if Lisa has any say, I will have a camera attached to me at all times, and we hope to share the process with you.
Absolutely. Get everybody involved, and you can kind of literally follow along and see where we're going with all of this. So I think that's enough teasing for one day, for one podcast, Jenny.
Absolutely.
So absolutely. Well, listen, it has been super chatting to you as always. I'm sure I'll see you very soon. But thank you to everybody for watching along. And I hope that you've enjoyed this little mini series on all of our and just amazing people that we deal with day in, day out, and that we're just so privileged to have as part of the wider This Is Knit family in more ways than one. Jenny, you are a superstar, and thank you so much again for taking the time out on a very rainy, very cold day to talk to us.
Thanks for having me.
So that's it for our special Meet the Maker series for this year. I really, really hope you've enjoyed catching up with all of the different makers that we've featured over the past 2 episodes. We will be back very soon with more live episodes of the TIK podcast. I do promise that is coming back with loads of the usual what has Joy been knitting lately and what is new on the shelves. So make sure to hit like and to subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on a new episode of the This Is Knit podcast. Thanks so much for watching along, and we'll see you next time.